Hello and welcome. On today's podcast, we're going to talk about things that we didn't expect and things that we learned on our Disney cruise.
Yeah, so stick with us. We're going to be going through our top 10. Mac is going to be joining us as well for this conversation.
And if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, liking, and hitting the bell for future notifications. We'll be back in just a second. All right, so the first thing we want to talk about was how easy the check-in process was.
Yeah, so one of the first things is you're going to have a port arrival time when you did your online check-in that was chosen. So that's the time that you're going to be wanting to be pulling up to the port terminal.
Yeah, at that point, you're in line with all the other cars, and you're going to pull up to an area where somebody's going to guide you to an area to drop off your luggage. They have that area numbered, so they'll tell you which number to go to. And at that location, they'll have porters ready to help you out. So you need to make sure you have your luggage tags ready and on your baggage. If not, they do have luggage tags available to give you to help you in this process. And then, once you drop your luggage off, you're going to head over to the parking garage area where they have an area where you can pay. This is super simple since everybody on your cruise that is driving will all park in the same parking garage. So the fee is the same for every single vehicle. You just pull up, put in your card, pay, it gives you a ticket, then you head into the parking garage and find your spot.
Yeah, and then you're going to be gathering up maybe some carry-on items and going to be heading to the port terminal. So there's going to be some lines outside of the terminal itself. You're going to be looking for that port arrival time again. So they're going to have them posted. There were probably 4 lines when we showed up in about 15-minute increments. So just keep note, if you arrive and you're looking at those port arrival times and your time is already passed, like it's earlier than those, go talk to someone. They'll go ahead and direct you where you need to go next. And if your port arrival time is not listed on there, it's a later time, just step a little bit further back from the lines that are being formed at that time, and then they'll update those times, and then you'll get in that line.
Yep, and then once it's your turn, somebody will let you know that your group is now available to go inside the terminal itself. And then once you head in there, you're going to start the security check-in process.
And again, the security check-in went really smoothly, I think, for us too. So we had all of our paperwork all together. So we had our passports, but this is going to be the same kind of items like when you did your online check-in. So it could be passports, other IDs, or your birth certificates. Just make sure those are all kind of together and ready to be scanned in.
Yeah, and at the same point, like Hope was saying, you're going to walk up to an area. They have multiple people set up to help families, so they'll guide you on which little section to go to. They have like miniature stand-up desk areas. And then at the same point, once you've done your paperwork, they'll also connect your Disney Band Pluses. So if you have those, they'll set these up for you, which connects you to everything on the ship. Makes your life really easy when you're on board the ship.
Yep, and then they'll direct you through some security screening, very similar to airport security. So once you're through there, the terminal that we were in, we ended up going up an escalator and going to an area where we then waited for our boarding group.
Yeah, and then once your boarding group number is called, what happens then, Mac?
You have to get in line to go through the Mickey head to board the ship.
Yay! You get on the ship. All right, so we made this one of our items we didn't expect because we thought the process was going to be a little bit harder, but it turned out it actually was very simple if you had all your stuff ready and available.
So the second thing that we wanted to talk about was the noise level on the ship.
Yes, it was very loud.
So of course you're on a ship. We had a full ship. It was completely booked, 4,000 people. So of course there's going to be noise. So the thing is though, you get used to the noise. But I made the mistake just in general because we were used to the noise at one point where I was trying to do some recordings out on the veranda with all the wind and waves. Then when we got back home and I was looking at the video for my intros and my day ending video, you couldn't hardly hear me because of all the noise in the background. So It's again very interesting because you hear all this noise, but then the longer you go, the more you get used to it, and then it's like it's not there anymore. So you just gotta kind of be prepared for that.
Yeah, and what's interesting is I've really enjoyed, I mentioned on the previous video, was even with all of that sound, like Mike spent some time on the veranda, and when he went outside and he unlocked that veranda door, all of a sudden it was just this, you could hear the noise from outside. Again, it's, soothing noises in general, but it's just so much louder. And then when you go and lock that veranda door, it's like a suction, and all of a sudden it's very quiet again. It was very surprising.
Yeah, so yes, it is noisy on board the ship. Yes, you do get used to it, but it's not like an annoying type of noise. Again, a lot of people on the ship, you get very used to it. You figure out how to speak to each other, and it just becomes normal. So it's not like it's something that you're going to get on board the ship and go, wow, I can't stand this. It's just way too loud. Just like with anything, the longer you're around it, you get used to it. And there are still areas on board the ship, which is crazy, that are quiet.
Yeah, that was really surprising to me too, is just, just that difference, all of the noise and the hustle and the bustle of everyone being there. And then all of a sudden there are areas that are really quiet. So there was a couple sitting areas, I think, off of the Grand Hall that, and I think it's primarily like when people, like when you're at port or maybe things like that, where it's just going to be a little bit quieter. And they also have different lounges, and again, just different seating areas, little pockets that you can find if you need a little quiet space.
All right, and the third thing we want to talk about is how the cruise ship didn't feel overcrowded, even though we had a fully booked cruise.
Yeah, it's crazy how Disney is so good at this. They're really known for their crowd control and kind of easing, certain traffic points. So how they do this on the ship was they had so many different activities going on at different time, at the same time, but different locations all throughout the ship. So there could be character meet and greets in the Grand Hall, but there could also be other characters maybe on the fifth deck, maybe inside on the port side or the starboard side. Just really kind of spreading everybody around so that you're not clogging up big areas with people.
Yeah, now there are times where it is going to feel crowded. Those are times when you have the big events that pretty much everybody wants to go to. So the sail away party, the pirate night parties, they have 2 of those parties. Most everybody goes to those events. So at those events, it is going to feel like a lot of people all in one space.
But you're all having fun and having a party. That's the whole vibe of it.
Very fun, very fun. And then also some of the Broadway theater type shows. However, they do show those at multiple different times. So that does help cut down the crowd a little bit there as well.
Yeah, don't forget they had 2 different dining times.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we had the 5:45 dinner time, and then there was also, was it 8:15 kind of time frame? Yeah. So that kind of helps break that busy time up a little bit too.
Yeah, so in general, even though we had 4,000 people on board our ship, just because, again, like Hope was saying, the way that Disney spaces things, has different events all over the place all at the same time, it never truly felt like you were just tripping all over yourself and other people. So that was unexpected and very nice.
Okay, so the 4th item on our list was how popular the Marvel game was in the kids club.
Yeah, it was very overcrowded, and a lot of kids were in line waiting for their turn to play the Marvel game.
So Mac, why were all these kids in line to play the Marvel game?
Because the kids wanted to build the suits, but you had to complete the missions first.
Oh, so were you able to do any of that?
Yes, but I had to go back a few times because of how popular it was.
All right, and the 5th thing we want to talk about was how many activities there were to do on board the ship.
Yeah, you really can't do it all. There were so many things going on at different times. There was just tons of things.
Yeah, so recently we put out a podcast, Things to Do on Board the Ship. We also scrolled itineraries from our days 2 through 7 on our cruise. Each day there are well over 100 items available. So there are more than enough items for you to go through and figure out something to do during the day.
And I didn't have any time to be bored.
Yes, which is a big deal. And one of the things you have to do is you really have to pick and choose what items you want to do.
Really do.
Because the itineraries will tell you what time they are, where they're at. And you've got to kind of work it out. Okay, what do I want to do here? All right, next I want to do this. You're, like Hope said, you're not going to get to it all. So that was something that that was unexpected and a lesson learned from us as a first-time cruiser. We were worried we were going to get bored, but there was way more than enough to keep us really going all the time. So that was enjoyable.
All right, so item number 6 on our list is just the pure fact that there are characters everywhere. So with Disney, you expect like an opportunity here and there to kind of be able to meet some of your favorite characters, but there were so many opportunities.
Yeah, so the Grand Hall area, which is decks 3, 4, and 5, there was almost always a character somewhere within those 3 decks. In fact, there were a lot of times, especially during the peak times near dinner time or in the evening, where every single deck would have character meet and greets, and sometimes in multiple areas, on the starboard, the port, there in the center of the ship. There was always a character somewhere for you to meet. You hardly ever went into that space and didn't see a character. But it wasn't overwhelming either. It was one of those you decide whether you get in line to do the meet and greet. So it was really nice.
Yeah, it was nice to meet some of the characters and magic shots.
Yeah, that's right. So some of the characters couldn't join us, possibly their schedules didn't really line up. But what's great is with a little bit of Disney magic, we were still able to get some of those pictures with some of the other characters.
Yeah, it was really nice. All right, the 7th thing we want to talk about was how quickly we got acclimated on board the ship.
Yeah, maybe just not from a directional standpoint.
No, they had signs everywhere, but it took us quite a little bit of time to figure out where exactly we were, whether we were forward or aft, or it did take us 4 or 5 days to get used to that. But in general, just getting used to a new schedule where things were located as far as knowing, okay, they're on this deck versus other decks, I think, and we were kind of surprised at how quickly we were able to pick it all up.
Yeah, I liked how we only had to go up 1 level for drinks or food.
Yeah, so we were on the 10th level. We only had to go up 1 flight of stairs to get to the drink stations, which at night was nice. The Festival of Foods was right there, as well as Marceline Market was on the 11th deck as well. So it was real easy for us in the mornings and the evenings to just go find food and drinks, which was nice. I think in general, kind of what we're talking about, things we didn't expect or learn, it was unexpected and surprising how quickly we were able to pick up on just a new schedule, a new routine, and where things were on the ship, which was really nice.
So the 8th item on our list was the fact that none of us got seasick.
Yeah, so as you guys may have seen before, if you've seen our other videos, this was our very first cruise. So we had, again, never gone on a cruise before, so we weren't sure how we were going to react. So we were really worried if one or all 3 of us were going to get seasick on board the ship.
Yeah, there were a couple of days the ship was rocking and we still didn't get sick.
Yeah, there were 2 or 3 days where the boat was moving pretty good. In fact, in some of the videos you may or may not have seen, especially the merchandise video.
Yeah.
You can actually see the shirts
clothing.
and stuff moving on the hangers. There were a couple of days it was moving pretty good.
Yeah, and we'd even brought Dramamine just in case. And like I said, we were pretty surprised that we didn't end up having to use it. And then even coming back, sometimes after being on vacation, you might end up with a cold or something afterwards when you're back. But we didn't end up with that either. I think the only thing that I kind of went through was spent a few days trying to get my land legs back. Still felt like I was moving on the ship for a little bit.
Yeah, so the reason we added this as one of our top 10 is because just like with any vacation, you don't want anything to ruin your vacation. And on a cruise, we weren't quite sure, is anybody going to get seasick? Because you hear about that. So it was really nice that none of us ended up getting seasick, and it kind of tells you, yes, you guys are built to do cruises. What a shame. So we really enjoyed it. All right, the ninth thing we want to talk about is our rotational dining experience.
Yeah, so we had watched a lot of videos on this kind of before our cruise, and we had seen something that Disney does a little bit differently, some others. It's called rotational dining. So where you end up switching restaurants, but your dining team, like your server and your head server, they all go with you.
Yeah, it was actually for us, it was really great because after that first night when you meet your serving team, they get to learn you and you learn them, which if you've seen our previous videos, you know that I am a big Diet Coke fan.
Yeah.
So it was nice because our server knew after night one, that's what I'm going to be asking for at night. I'm going to be asking for a Diet Coke with my dinner. So they didn't have to really wait and ask me what I wanted to drink, which was really, really nice. The other thing for us that was nice is we were doing our videos. Obviously, this was our first cruise. This was our first time opening and creating our channel. So we were doing videos for the dinner sittings, and we are kind of planners and a little bit anal. So we already had typed out menus on what we were going to eat. We had done it for ourselves, and we had also done some dishes just to review for the videos. So our server learned that this is what we were going to do, so they knew, all right, I'm going to give them one list for me, and then I'm going to give them another list to review for the video. And they were nice enough to go, okay, how do you want this to be served? Do you want this all at the same time? Do you want them separately? So it just really worked out really well for us. We really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I really liked the different shows at each of the dinners.
Yeah, it was nice. 2 of the 3 restaurants that we were at, so Marvel and Coco, they each had different shows going on, which I think really helps with, the children kind of be a little bit more entertained and kind of engaged during the dinner time.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it already, we've done a previous podcast on the rotational dining. But for us, this was really something we really enjoyed. And really look forward to in the future again.
Okay, and number 10 on our list was just how amazing the Broadway style shows were on board.
Yes, I really loved Seize the Adventure.
Yeah, so one of the things we weren't really sure about was how Mac would like the Broadway style shows. So I'll consider the Broadway type shows are more adult friendly generally. But because Disney has a lot of character in their shows, a lot of different characters, as well as their shows are about their movies, it really was more of a family event, which was really, really nice.
Yeah, and so on our sailing, we were able to catch shows for Moana, Beauty and the Beast, and of course Mac's favorite, Seize the Adventure.
Yeah, so the Disney Entertainment team, they do a spectacular job on all these different shows, because you have the same team that does all of these different Broadway style shows, as well as some of the other shows on board the ship. So it's just really amazing how they know all their lines, know all the words and all the songs and choreography. It's really amazing. So on these Disney cruises, they're not the cheapest cruises. They cost some money, but it's these events that really show you that, hey, you're getting
this value.
Yeah, really good value for what you're getting. These Broadway shows are really top notch. So really, really happy with that. All right, now that we've gone through our top 10, we did want to add a bonus. And the bonus is it lived up to the hype.
Yeah, we had really built this up beforehand. We'd watched so many YouTube videos, and we were really hoping this could be something that our whole family enjoyed.
Yeah, I really loved the cruise.
Yeah, so like Hope said, we had watched a ton of videos, we had prepared, we had built it up in our heads, hoping this would be something we really liked. Heck, we started a YouTube channel, so we were kind of banking on that it was going to be something we really, really enjoyed. And kind of like the theme of this podcast, things we didn't expect or learned is we learned we love cruising. It was very fun, we had a great time, and we really look forward to when we can do our next cruise. So that's the end of this podcast. We appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
If you enjoyed this video, please consider supporting the channel by hitting the like button as well as subscribing and ringing the bell for notifications on future videos.